Last week we got a new Smurfs movie, so now it's time to rank all 5 Smurfs movies from the, well, in this case, not worst to best, because none of these movies are good, but let's just say the least watchable to the most watchable. In last place is Smurfs from 2025. Now, the first 10 minutes of this film have one or two mildly amusing jokes, and casting John Goodman as Papa Smurf is a pretty great choice. Other than that, the film does not work. It's the cliche, what is my talent, and who am I story that we've seen done much better in films like Encanto and things like My Little Pony and the Care Bears. Maybe the film could have worked if the majority of the jokes were not trying too hard to be trendy. In this movie filled with fantasy elements such as wizards and fantastical creatures, we also get references to Zoom and DoorDash. Thankfully, the infamous influencer Smurf from the trailer did not make the final cut of the film. Now, the plot is more or less the 2011 Neil Patrick Harris film again, where for some reason the Smurfs are sent to the human world, and this only matters for about 5 minutes, because for the majority of this film, we spend time with creatures that are reminiscent of the Tribbles from Star Trek. Keeping the Smurfs in their own world would have made more sense. The film also cannot decide if it wants to be musical or not. The film has a total of 3 musical numbers, and the rest of the soundtrack is a glorified commercial for Rihanna's music, who also provides the voice of Smurfette. Not since DreamWorks Home has a movie felt so self-indulgent. The 3 musical numbers that are in the film are forgettable, generic, mass-market pop music trash, manufactured to be top 40 hits on the radio. Now, apart from a couple of mild swear words, the majority of the film isn't necessarily bad for kids. There aren't any bad messages or anything, but the film is not exactly the most enriching or best use of time. This past year we had films such as Looney Tunes, Elio, and Zoopocalypse, all of which were much smarter. While kids may get some amusement out of it, the film provides nothing for adults. There are much better films to choose for your next family movie night. And number 4 is Smurfs 2011, the one that decided, hey, what if the Smurfs got transported to New York? Neil Patrick Harris tries his best, and Hank Azaria as Gargamel is kind of amusing, but the fish out of water gags wear thin fast, and the product placement is so aggressive it might as well be called The Smurfs, sponsored by Sony. Still, for kids, it's a decent intro to the Smurfs. Number 3, Smurfs 2. Somehow the sequel is slightly more charming than the first. The new characters, Avexi and Hackus, are chaotic and kind of fun, and there's a sweet storyline with Papa Smurf and Smurfette. It's still dumb, it's still annoying, but it feels like the filmmakers at least tried to tell a story this time. Number 2, Smurfs and the Magic Flute. While the Smurfs don't show up until about halfway through, I still enjoyed the film's fantasy medieval setting. The pacing is slow and the animation is dated, but it's got charm, though having an entire song where the characters say the word Smurf for 90% of it gets old really quickly. And in first place is Smurfs and the Lost Village. This is the one that finally said, let's stop trying to make the Smurfs hip and just let them be Smurfs. The animation is bright, the story stays fully in the Smurf world, and Ryan Wilson is fun as Gargamel, though his villain voice sounds exactly the same as the villain voice from Monsters vs. Aliens. It still has charm, and unlike the other ones on this list, I wasn't begging for it to end. It's still not great, but for me it was the most watchable and most tolerable, so even though this is essentially a participation trophy in this case, it comes in at number 1. So if you've seen any of these movies, let me know what your ranking of the Smurfs films are, and I'll see you next time.